Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome once again. It's lovely to have you today with us for this live Q&A session with Akshayakalpa founder Shashi. Akshayakalpa is a Rangde Impact partner, and they are working with organic dairy farmers on the ground and trying to make dairy farming a vocation of choice. They're trying to improve the conditions of dairy farming and trying to make it accessible for many more farmers. We're going to discuss the challenges of this occupation, how Akshayakalpa is solving it, how Rangde is helping Akshayakalpa solve these things, and glad to inform everybody that Akshayakalpa and Rangde have a fund for dairy farmers which has crossed rupees 3.8 crores in credit raised for organic dairy farmers. You can check it out. I will be posting the link in the comments. But now I will hand over the session to Rangde co-founder Smita, who will be hosting this conversation with Shashi. Over to you, Smita.
Thank you, Sukhada, and a warm welcome to you, Shashi. And a big disclaimer to all of you, when Shashi and I actually start talking, there's no end to it. So feel free to interrupt, ask us questions. I think we go back a really long way. I think between the two of us, I think we've been in the social sector for about 30 years now, if we add our experiences together. So, very warm welcome, Shashi. And this is my favorite question, actually. And I ask this to all our Impact Partner founders. Why Akshayakalpa? Why did you start on this journey? I'm sure everybody here would love to know that story.
Hey, thanks, Smita. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Hopefully, I'm audible. I'm an engineer by qualification. First of all, I need to ask myself that why did I become an engineer? So, born in a farming family, deep farming family. Still, my father does farming, okay? But why I became an engineer? Okay, it is not that I had a huge engineering skills. No, because my father never wanted me to be a farmer. Okay, it's as simple as that. Day when I was born, only target I had was physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology. Score 100 out of 100. Get out of farming as a mess. Get out of that and lead a wonderful life somewhere else. That's what my father told. This is exactly what I remember. Still, that's what he keeps saying. Okay, why he says that? Because he has got a role model somewhere in city making better money. To change farming, we need to exactly do the same thing for farming. We need role model farmers in every village, nook and corner of this country. That's what Akshayakalpa is doing. Working with farmers, hand-holding them very, very deep, okay, and ensuring that they are making money. So this is what Akshayakalpa Genesis is. Genesis of setting up role models in village so that others can see, like my father saw an engineer, other farmers in the their next generation should see studies, farming should become a vocation of choice. That's the overall idea of Akshayakalpa. Hopefully that answers Smita. Okay.
That's like the crispest answer you have given for your startup story. But thank you so much. I'm sure a lot of other nuances of this journey will come out during the conversation. So, Shashi, every time we've met, you have shared with us a new challenge and how you went about solving it. If you go back to your early days of starting up Akshayakalpa, can you throw light on some of those initial problems that you had to solve? And I think what we want to bring out through this conversation is how solving problems in the social space is not easy. So just want if you want to touch upon a few of these challenges and how you went about solving it, that'll be a great start.
Yes, so when we initially started, Akshayakalpa was actually seed funded by 27 people from Wipro. It's a crowd-funded initiative. My friend, 27 people a day. What we wanted to do was we wanted to change the face of the farming. We wanted to revolutionize farming. So that's the thoughts we had in way back in 2010. That's how we started Akshayakalpa. So in the process now, when we actually started doing groundwork, we realized that very broad statement we are making, we can't make dent by making statements. We need to really start solving simple problems for farmers. Very simple problems, okay? Why people are leaving farming? If you ask our question, initial stages when we asked, no, why everybody wants to be a cab driver, not a farmer, though earning could be equal, because there is a predictability in revenues, okay, when you go out other than farming. First thing what we did was we started solving the cash flow problem by dairy. What is dairy doing him is it's giving access to him on a dairy cash. So in this process, we started, okay, thinking what else we can do. So fundamental problem, what we started doing is solve the cash flow problem through dairy. Dairy gives a secondary output. It is called dung. Start working on the soil. That is what we do with farmers. So fundamentally, solve cash flow problem, take the dung, do the soil management. Some of the data what we have, if you look at now, is very startling at a ground level. So unfortunately, when you go deeper and deeper, we started realizing, okay, that these problems, no, they have no end. Okay, so I'll give you a simple problem. Okay, simple, okay, data point. Okay, I'll just want to present this here. Yeah. So this slide, hopefully you can see. So this is the data. When we started Akshayakalpa in 2010 in Tiptur area, we measured what is the coconut productivity per tree per annum. It was 55 nuts per tree per annum in 2010. When 2019, when we repeated this baseline across our farms, it has gone up to 81 nuts per tree per annum. Basically, soil management has increased productivity from 55 nuts to 81 nuts. But what was this 100 years back, 110 years back? If you really look at now, it was 185 nuts per tree per annum in 1903 and 1905 British Day surveys. What has happened in 120 years of farm journey? We have effectively, soils have not been managed properly. That is where the fundamental problem, where we start. This is the second problem. The first problem is on the cash flows. Second problem is the soil. How do you really look into the soil and solve these problems? Our soil management systems we have in place, especially in farming, has taken up productivity from 55 nuts to 81 nuts in 9 years. It might not be very big from outside, but believe me, it is a path-making thing. I am 100% sure next 100 years, if we have that vision, start working on the same farms, continue to work the way we are working, we can restore 185 nuts tree per annum, we can restore. But it requires 100, 120 years of vision. So we can't do a overnight change in farming. So those are the fundamental things we started realizing, Smita. There is no cash flows, farmers are leaving. Forget about changing the world. First of all, we need to change ourselves, looking at problems at a ground level, solve that cash flow problem, solve the soil issue, then all the things will start falling in line. But to do all these things, no fundamental problem what we saw was there is no credit access to farmers. So far, in 10 years of before Rangde, 10 years and NBFCs put together, lending to farmers is the least priority for not to lend to a farmer the credit he wants. He wants tomorrow morning, he wants 50,000 rupees. Can a bank give such a credit? It is such a system doesn't exist. We can say JLGs, we can say SHGs, we can say NBFCs doesn't exist. This is the biggest problem, Smita, what we have seen, okay, at the field level. Cash flows, soil issues, and of course, to solve these two issues, we need cash, so the credit access.
Thanks, Shashi. We'll definitely come back to the credit issue in detail. But before that, something that I've really appreciated, or every time I've done a field visit to Akshayakalpa farms, the kind of incubation support that farmers get, that really stands out. So can you talk to us a little about what actually happens behind the scenes, behind incubating each of these dairy farms?
So right now we are working in two areas, near Tiptur and in Chennai, okay, with farmers. In around Tiptur, we work with around 800 farmers who are already connected to market, and 1,500 farmers waiting to be connected to the farmers. Approximately around 2,300 to 2,500 people in Tipto, around 300 people in Chennai. So this work we are doing it from past 12 years. So if you really go with what we do now, so this is the status of this slide, if I can explain. This basically explains the biggest problem our dairy industry faces today. Farmers produce 1 liter, quarter liter, half a liter. Okay, what is the quality of that milk? Nobody knows. At what cost they produce? Nobody knows. What is farmer profitable? Nobody knows. They stand next to a gutter and go to a collection center. This collection center is around 3 kilometers from our plant. This is the status of Indian dairy industry. Most of them are women. Nobody bothers. 80% of the agriculture labor actually is women. So nobody gets recognition. So this, from this scenario, how do we change this one to a scenario where farmers feel comfortable, they are earning substantial money and staying back in villages? What we do is very simple. I will not go into this model. See, left side, I'll just want the pictures, to talk. Left side, you can see a typical cow shed where very badly managed, light hardly comes in. Flooring is very bad. We do a sheds, help farmers to do sheds like on the right side, where it is airy, there are no walls, cows are not tied and tethered. So we create systems like this. We move cows which are tied and actually lie down in dung to a system where they are left free, and they are never tied and tethered. This is the second system what we work and make with farmers. You can see the left side, the kind of water cows drink is very bad. Weak feeding systems of water. 80%, 85% of milk is water. If water is not really fed properly, you don't get a quality milk. And farmers actually suffer, cows suffer. There are a host of issues associated with that. You can see right side how the access to water we have changed from a dirty water system to a very clean feeding system. So you can see the feeding system of farms in the back end. We handhold them every step to move away from feeding straw to a combination of greens, silages, and locally available grains. So this exactly it is mixed, what we call as a total mixed ration TMR. It fed to the cows. This entire step is hand. Left side is a traditional dairy. Right side is how the feeding actually happens. At the farm level in Akshayakalpa. We handhold them. We help them to move the cows which have got a very bad body score to wonderful cows where they can eat better milk and in problems with health, handled in a better way. Their immune system is better. Calf rearing. Calves are really neglected. Left side you can see the calves are hairy coat. They will never become good adults. We actually help farmers to do wonderful calf rearing. That's how we do as part of the field work. We can see the milking system, itself is very dirty. Left side you see is the typical milking in traditional dairy farms. We have automated the entire milking system where the milk is safely collected in a bucket system, and put it into a chiller. Also pre-milking protocols like washing the udder, cleaning the udder, all those things to improve the cow hygiene, health, quality of a product. So they can get better revenues for whatever they are doing. And also we have integrated farm level chillers where the milk really gets chilled in the farm itself. So the farmer need not take the milk to a lot of distances, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers they have to take where the collection centers are there. We have changed that. This is a typically full set up dairy farm where cows are left free. They are not means there's no tethering, the cows. So we have removed the tethering and we have made cows free. See, you can see the feed and fodder work, what we do. In between coconut trees, we have integrated a lot of fodder. So that is the photo of mine probably in 2011-12, where we are working a lot of experimentation on azola production in the farms. So we have done wonderful work there. Integration of crops, in between coconut trees has also helped coconut tree plants better. Entire farms are automated. We handhold farmers to automate farms, where milking can be automated, chilling can be automated. Farms wherever they have got 25,000 more, we have put a biogas system where power production happens, okay, and they can chill the milk, use it for milk lifting, okay, use for milk chilling, okay, hot water generation, lot of things, cooking, lot of things can be done. Actually, technically, we have made farmers as entrepreneurs, they certify their milk. We pay, Akshayakalpa unique way, we pay based on what farmer certifies. Of course, we verify later. He has to certify, test it and certify. All the data goes to the cloud, saying that milk is free of antibiotics. What is the fat and SNF? Milk is stable. Those certifications, data goes to the cloud. The moment data hits the cloud, payment is triggered. So that's the technology interventions we have done in terms of how do we enable daily cash. Okay, and
We should have Shashi back in a second.
hours. So this is where
We'll just give it a second and Shashi will rejoin. Yeah. Shashi, are you able to hear us? We lost you a few seconds back. You're on mute.
yeah. So it's very unstable. I'm in a very remote place near Hyderabad. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, if this
maybe you can
connection
switch
is
off your
not stable.
camera. Maybe you can switch off your camera.
Okay. Yes, I think that's a good idea. Okay, let me stop video. Yeah. So today we work with around 3,000 farmer families. What Akshayakalpa, with people like Rangde coming together, what it has enabled is average per family income, we are able to take it to 100,000 rupees. Wherever we work on a per monthly basis. This is exactly what a dream farming is like how my father as an engineer as a dream. Every farmer family should see farmers as a dream, earning that much money. Okay, this is enabled, okay, with reaching 60,000 consumers in 3 cities on a daily basis. And we employ around 550 people. Okay, so this is a quick summary on what we do, okay, in terms of back-end, Smita. We can pull up other slides as and when when we discuss.
Awesome. Thanks, Shashi. Shashi, if we can come to the problem around credit, because I'm sure a lot of people here have already invested in the Akshayakalpa fund, but somewhere we may have a question on why do the dairy farmers need credit? What do they do with it? And aren't there other sources of funding for them? Can you please go a little deeper into this and share with us the current situation of credit, especially with regard to dairy farmers of Akshayakalpa?
Yes. So what has happened in the credit system, right? So though there are SHGs, JLGs, okay, they are available. So the lending rates are between 25% to 36%. That is very normal. Okay, in a typical lending system in villages, through a proper channel like NBFC or a JLG or a SHG. Okay, okay, I'm not sure if farmers can borrow. The second problem is the credit is not available when they want. For example, credit needs to be available if tomorrow needs 50,000, 50,000 needs to be available. Okay, that is very, very critical for a farmer. So the turnaround times needs to be very, very important. Third thing is the biggest problem farmers face, since the TAT is very bad, they go to local money lenders. Lending actually is, if I'm not exaggerating too much, Smita, you are the better person. 36% to 50%, okay, to 60% is very, very common lending rate from a hand borrowing systems in villages. So these three, okay, coupled with the biggest problems farmers have got into is their CIBIL records. Their CIBIL records, 100 farmers, if they put for a formal banking system, okay, credit, okay, other than these SHGs, NBFCs, if you put anything other than these systems, 95% of them don't qualify. For various reasons, their credit behavior has not been good. What is required? None of them are defaulted deliberately, but for various reasons, it has happened. What is required is at a ground level, hand holding when the credit actually is given. So this is a summary. These 4 problems constitutes biggest challenges, okay, for any farmer to have an access to credit.
Cool, thanks, Shashi. Shashi, I remember when I actually visited a few dairy farms. One of the dairy farmer was actually working as a cab driver in Bangalore, and then he went back, migrated back, and I was so happy to hear that story of reverse migration. And he seemed to be so contented living with his family and doing the kind of work that he does. Would love to hear some impact stories of what the Rangde and Akshay Kalpa partnership has enabled. Anything you'd like to share, Shashi?
See, you'll be surprised to know, Smita. So people whom we have successfully able to coax them to come back who are a cab drivers. Okay, it is around 150 people. 150 people, they were cab drivers. We coax them to come back saying farming is a better vocation of choice. So this is what the credit access makes the change. I give all this credit to Rangde directly. Okay, so able to get that credit when they need and able to set up the farm. So that is so important. Not that they want to become cab drivers. They had some land, 1 acre, 2 acres, 5 acres, whatever the land they had, they left and gone because of non-profitability issues. So we have been successfully able to get them back. Also, out of 800 farmers whom we are linked, okay, Smita, you should be proud that out of that, close to 300 farmers are women farmers. So that is so important in the ecosystem where we don't actually give a lot of credit to women, especially on the farm side of it. 80% of the work actually is done by farmers. 300 families we directly transfer money to their accounts, they are women. So this is the greatest impact actually, okay, we have seen, okay, with the credit which has been, okay, dispersed so far.
Amazing. And for people who are in Bangalore or even people who are in India, I think Akshay Kalpa field visits are something that you should definitely do. And I think it's an eye opener. One is, of course, the beautiful campus and all the R&D work that happens in that campus. And of course, every dairy farmer has a story. So I think you should definitely visit. And the Akshay Kalpa team is very open to these field visits. I think it's a part of their program. They do this almost every weekend, so do check it out. Reach out to Rangde if you want to, but this is something you should definitely do. Shashi, yeah, sorry.
Just adding on that, Smita, at a weekend, 100 to 150 consumers do visit. There are 2 programs. Overnight, they can stay in our farm. And second thing is they can go and stay in the farmer's farm. It is called Be a Farmer for a day or 2. So they can really go to farmer and see what are the challenges he is facing. Okay, how his daily work goes about, all those things. So both of them, anybody can participate. Okay. In fact, okay, the weekend farm visit program, it has really kicked off. 150 to 200 people on a weekend, every weekend they visit us. So that is one thing I think any one of you can here go to our website. There's a farm visit link. Register yourself. You will get a call back. Okay, and they will book you based on the slots available.
That's fantastic. Shashi, since we launched the fund, we have raised about 3.8 crores. What do you think is in store in future? Because what we really need to know is how can individual social investors actually help further your mission and of course help the dairy farmers in turn. Would love to hear your thoughts on what the roadmap is so that we get to understand the how big the need is.
So at least from Akshayakalpa standpoint, Smita, so we are aggressively linking farmers to market. When we are linking farmers to market, we need to induct the cows, we need to get a bucket milker, we need to make the paddock change, we need to change the water systems, everything. We are looking at this year by March, okay, this year we are looking for access to close to 16 crore rupees of funding for farmers. That's the quantum what we are looking for this financial year. Coming financial year, we are looking at around 25 crores overall capital requirement, okay, to link these farmers to, okay, the market. So overall this year, 16 crores additional, and next year we need around 25 crore rupees capital.
Cool, thanks Shashi. Sukhuda, I think we can take some of the questions in the chat.
Sure. Shashi, if you could just disable the screen sharing. I will ask the questions on the chat. So the first question is from Akhilesh Pathak. Akhilesh wants to know, do you have any plans to expand in Gujarat? And he would love to collaborate. So he wants to know if you're planning anything for Gujarat.
Akhilesh, right now we don't have any plans for Gujarat. Right now we operate in Tiptur in Tumkur district. Okay, Puriambakam village in Changalpattu district in Tamil Nadu. And in little bit in the Krishna belt. Okay, we recently started Krishna river belt in around Hyderabad, 175 kilometers Hyderabad. Shortly, we're going to start between Pune and Mumbai, maybe in next 1 year. But Gujarat, we do not have any plans as such at this point of time.
Okay, thank you, Shashi. Soumitra Joshi has a question. Soumitra asks, in Akshayakalpa's experience, how long does the institution need to handhold farmers until the system runs smoothly? And the second question he wants to ask is, how much is the rate of relapse, if any?
So far, I think rate of relapse, Smita can comment, okay, but typically the handholding in Akshayakalpa system is fairly deep. Before even we finance them, we actually have worked with 2 years with them, okay, without any financial intervention. Management changes, feed and fodder changes, okay, assessing the family, we work very, very deep. Even only after working after 2 years only, we recommend for a financing of anywhere between 60,000 to 150,000 rupees, okay, is the intervention we are doing at this point of time. So right now, okay, there are no default cases reported, okay, in our portfolio as of now. Okay, yes, there will be some amount of risk, but there are no default cases we have marked, okay, as money is not coming. So hopefully that answers that question.
Great.
Sorry,
yes.
I'll just clarify my question. So
Sure.
by relapse, I did not mean defaulting of the loans, but for example, you take 2 to 3 years to onboard a farmer, for example, to upgrade their farming methods and increase their output and get better living. But then you stop handholding, you move on to other farmers. So are there any instances that after the handholding has stopped, they for whatever reason they went back to their old way of farming? If so, what were the reasons? That was my question. Sorry for the miscommunication.
Yeah, yes, the people have gone back. Okay, there are 2 primary reasons why people have gone back. So one of the primary reasons gone back is not standing up to quality standards. So if they go back on the quality standards, we refuse to work with them. Generally, what happens is once we stop refusing to work with them, 2, 3, 4 months, I've seen they come back. So that actually happens. So therefore, it's very important to get a better price realization. They need to stand for quality issues. The second, okay, instances where we have seen relapsing is disputes between 2 brothers, dispute between parents, okay, father and son, dispute between husband and wife. So these are the kind of things people actually have gone back. Hey, we don't want to do dairying because my parents are not agreeing, or my wife is not agreeing, or he recently got married. There are some difference of opinions. All those things would happen. These are the 2 primary cases where people have gone back. First case, generally people come back. The second case is generally they don't come back because the family discord, various issues involved there, okay, creates a lot of challenges, okay, to the farmers.
Great. Thank you, Shashi. Sita has a question for you. She had a wonderful visit to your Tiptur unit. She says, of all the farmers, how many are lead farmers whom Akshayakalpa is training as entrepreneurs? And can you tell us a little bit about their growth?
Yes, it's a very interesting question. Recently, we raised our Series B financing. As part of this one, okay, one of the top 5 audit firms did a diligence on all the farms where we are working. So at an average, we are paying around 100,000 rupees per farmer every month at an average. Farmers who started working with us, okay, around 10 years back, they're earning more than 2 lakh rupees. The farmers, when they join us, they start earning around 5 to 6,000 rupees. Over a period of 5 to 7 years, okay, we can take them, okay, earning in dairy ecosystem to around 100,000 rupees. That's exactly what the growth is. The next question, what you're asking, what are the lead? All the farmers are lead farmers. For example, 800 farmers whom we have linked to market, they're all lead farmers. So it's an entrepreneurial journey for all of them. That's the reason we work with very, very small group of farmers. We are not working with thousands and thousands of farmers. when you want to really focus and make farming viable, lot of focus is required. If you look at Akshayakalpa is a 600 people organization as of now. Out of that, 200 people work with farmers. 800 farmers. You can imagine the intensity at which veterinary doctors, para-veterinarians, extension officers, service personnel, all of them to make sure the farming becomes viable. This is exactly the journey we have taken. Hopefully this answers that question.
Great. Thank you. Smita, do you want to ask a question, or we have some more questions we can ask?
Yeah, I think there are a bunch of questions, Sukala. We can take them.
Okay, great. So I think the next question is from Rishikesh. He's asking, can we please shed some light on how Rangde Akshayakalpa grade the borrowers, considering that their CIBIL scores have defaulted? Do we have any kind of tool that helps us grade these borrowers on a better scale instead of those by CIBIL that exclude majority of the factors for micro borrowers?
Absolutely. So I can answer that question. So what we are trying to do in partnership with Akshayakalpa, and in fact with all our impact partners, is trying to create an alternative data model for credit underwriting. So let's take the example of Akshayakalpa farmers. In case their credit scores are not that great, because of the relationship Akshayakalpa has with the partners, has with the dairy farmers, we get a complete disclosure on why the credit scores are the way they are. It could be because of gold loans. It could be because of the pandemic, they were not able to repay the loans. So we figure out what those reasons are, and we make a conscious choice on whether or not this farmer can be funded. And if funded, what is the loan amount that can be given to them? So this is done jointly by the Rangde team and the Akshayakalpa team. Over a period of time, we can start to see some trends, so that people who have poor credit scores because of very genuine reasons don't get affected. And it doesn't make sense to deny credit when this can actually help them progress. So that is what we do. But over a period of time, we're trying to build this model and integrate it into our technology platform. But right now, we have just done about 3.8 crores of funding. So we will still need to do a little more loans to actually get that model right. But currently, a lot of that sort of a conversation and co-creation happens with the Akshayakalpa team.
Great. Thanks, Smita. Rajesh has a couple of questions for Shashi. In addition to Rangde, what are the other opportunities Akshayakalpa has explored, and what is the minimum cattle required for a farmer to qualify in Akshayakalpa project?
So we have already worked with Tata Capital, when they were lending farmer finance. They stopped retail lending, 2 years back. We had already worked with Tata Capital. We created a very good portfolio with them. It's a zero portfolio, They used to lend at around 14% to 16% of our farmers, depending upon the credit score. We have worked with Samunati. We have worked with commercial banks like HDFC, SBI. We work with a lot of commercial banks, maybe around more than around 20 commercial banks we work. And NBFCs we work. We work with, for example, Jana, small finance bank we work. We have got a good portfolio with Jana. So wherever possible, we would like to tap in that credit access and make it available to our farmers. So platforms like Rangde, what they're trying to do is they are trying to really get associated with, the cause, and finally what to make it happen. So in this space, what we have seen is the tax have come down, and farmers, let me say, understanding of availability of this credit at 8%, it has actually really changed the perspective of how they used to perceive microfinance, how they used to perceive commercial banks where the tax are very, very poor.
Got it. And I think Shashi,
Second question was,
yes, second question,
in terms of what is the number of cows? We start with 2 cows. Over a period of 5 to 7 years of journey, we take that farm to around 15 to 25 cows journey. But it cannot be overnight. Overnight, you can't give him 15, 20 cows and fund it. No. Farmers, we need to fund. The model what we follow is first we fund the first cow. If the first cow, entire thing repayment is done, we fund the second cow. If the second cow repayment is done, we fund the third cow. This is exactly how we handle the farmer at a various stages, so that, he doesn't feel it is a burden. Second thing is day one cash flows. Third is, he's learning his management skills to manage better and better over a period of time. 5 to 7 years journey, in my opinion, farmers will be, two people should be able to comfortably manage 15 to 25 cows. So that's how, hopefully that answers.
Great. Yes, thank you, Shashi. The next question is, do you form a cooperative to operate on such projects?
No, we don't form a cooperative. We deal individual farmers at an individual level. So in an entrepreneurial model, we would want farmers to start thinking a little bit entrepreneurial. So the cooperative model doesn't lend it very well. Generally, due to the moment you form a cooperative, okay, the political interference do happen. So therefore, the objectivity of lending is lost. It's very, very important we maintain the objectivity of lending. For what you are lending? You are lending to enable the cash flows. What you are lending? You are lending to make the quality product available so that they can sell at a better price. That objectivity, the moment the cooperative comes in, it is lost.
Got it. So Prasun has a quick question. He's asking what has been the default rate for farmers from this fund?
So far, it is zero default, Prasun.
Great. And Lok Capital has a question for Rangde. What is our expectation for how large the Akshayakalpa farmer financing portfolio can become? Can you share some insights into who has funded the farmers so far?
Okay.
So far,
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead, Shashi.
Yeah. So so far the farmer financing has been multidimensional. As I mentioned, first intervention at a deep level we did with Tata Capital when they were lending at a retail level. Then we worked with people like Samunati. Anil has been great support for us. We have worked with Samunati, and we have worked with Jana Small Finance Bank. So now we are working with Rangde. We are working with HDFC, SBI. These are some of the banks which we have been really working over a period of time. The portfolio, it might not be hundreds of crores. Generally, banks do think, it does 100 crore financing is required. In my opinion, to make a very, very focused dent, on the farmer income and farmer livelihoods, we need capital on time. That is the key. It is not the quantum. For example, 60,000 rupees, the difference it makes, you know what? 60,000 rupees lending gets 90 to 110,000 rupees cash into farmer's hand every year. So that you need to keep it in mind. Out of that, 50% is an expense. Remaining 50% is actually left in the hand. One cow, that's the impact of getting 100,000 rupees on hand per cow just by milk, with the asset created as a 60,000 rupees asset, which is growing with a calf growing. That's where the impact we see in the farming side. A lot of people don't understand this. 60,000 rupees lending, you are created 100,000 rupees cash. The cow remained as an asset. Next is you raise the next calf. So this is exactly how the transition should happen. To answer Lok's question is, it's not the volume, it's the timely availability of that credit what actually makes the difference in entire intervention.
Hi, Shashi. Yeah, thanks for that. But I think I was also curious to know from Rangde's perspective, because this is one of the channels of financing that can help the farmers. But from their perspective, what does the Rangde team see as the potential possibility of financing that can be sort of raised from this kind of P2P method? And who really are these lenders who are working on your platform? Are they largely Akshayakalpa customers? Are they just retail investors looking to invest money? So just curious about what you have learned through this.
So you'll actually see many of the people who have lent through this fund right here in this forum. We have about 2,200, a little more than 2,200 individuals who have invested in this fund so far. And our dream is, Shashi's target is 16 crores. It's about how will we enable 16 crores through this fund. That's really the target that we are working towards. And I can see that happening quite easily. And forums like this is to really create awareness about what this partnership can really enable. Because most times people are not able to understand or envision how their investment in this fund can actually create impact and help them earn returns. So that's exactly why we are doing this. And our target is to really meet Shashi's target of 16 crores.
Thanks, Mudha.
Great. Thank you, Ambika. The next question is from, so the next question is from Rajesh again. What happens if a funded cow dies due to some unavoidable reason?
okay, it is mandatorily insured. So it is before funding happens, cow is actually insured. So therefore, okay, there's a loss of asset actually is secured through insurance. It is mandatory. Without that, funding won't happen.
Wonderful. And Deepak wanted to ask, given that your team works so closely with the farmers, wanted to understand if Akshayakalpa also helps households with aspects like livestock insurance, educating them about government assistance, etc.
So we don't do insurance ourselves. We work with United India. So there's a public sector insurer. Okay, we work with them and we'll allow them to insure. Okay, but we ensure that every cow under our command is insured. So United India directly insures them. So that's how we work. But what we do is the intervention at this one at a family level is we are ensuring that okay, all the greens and vegetables farmer grows. Okay, farmer as it is home actually grows himself for family need. We measure the nutrition requirement of a family and encourage okay that to happen. Diversity in the farm actually goes up. Recently, we did a very good intervention on banana, good intervention on honey beekeeping, good intervention on backyard poultry, very good intervention okay in terms of millets management. These are the areas Akshayakalpa is very, very actively working other than dairy. And of course, as I mentioned in the beginning, one of the core competences we bring onto the table for a farmer is how to manage the soil better, how do you integrate trees into the ecosystem, how do you do bunding, how do you do trenching, how do you do rainwater harvesting. So to make sure that the soil, what they are managing is actually protected, okay, from various aspects like erosion, moisture, okay, management, all those aspects are integrated into our extension work. These deep interventions, okay, allows us to do that level intervention on the farm design.
Great. And I think we have one last question before Smita can ask you a couple more questions. Okay, two more questions. Ashish wanted to ask, is there any scope of Akshayakalpa extending their teaching expertise to other NGOs for similar cattle projects?
So, Smita, was that question to me?
Yes, to you.
Can you just repeat that question?
Yeah. So this is Ashish. He's asking, is there any scope of extending your teaching expertise to other NGOs with similar cattle projects?
See, we are very, very happy. We are a very open organization in that sense. We encourage everybody to, we have got a wonderful training center, come down, spend a month on a training, learn what we are doing. Just to give a little bit of insights now, in our area, LSD, that is a lumpy skin disease, has been declared as pandemic. Cow movement is restricted. Akshayakalpa is the only company where we have tagged 9,000 cows and tracking them, 0 incidents of lumpy skin diseases in our farms. This happened because we used the goatpox vaccine very early. When the first cases were reported in Rajasthan, Punjab, we vaccinated the farms and okay, secured their entire livelihood. So to your question, anybody can come and learn from what we are doing. These kind of interventions are really helping. This is the 5th year in row, 0 FMD incidents in our farms, where neighborhood farms have got a foot and mouth. Okay, Kannadalli kaal bayi jwara anta heltivi. So that has not happened. So FMD and things like LSD, all those things put together now, it actually creates a mess, okay, into the ecosystem. This needs to be protected. That's what we do. Any NGOs, any for-profit entities, or anybody can come and learn from us. Stay in your training center, get into your veterinary system, okay, dip into that knowledge base. We are open.
Superb. That is wonderful to know, Shashi. And I think just one more question. And before that, Vinay wanted to commend you for the great vision and to help women farmers become their own boss. This fact alone makes him want to invest in the fund. So he's saying, keep up the good work. And Indu is curious about how is quality maintained and monitored across different farmers and farms across regions.
So this very important question, I think I was expecting somebody to ask this question. Akshayakalpa model in terms of quality insurance is very different from a traditional model. There's no collection center. Then nobody gets the milk to some collection center and puts that milk into a collection center. No. Individual farmer as a chiller, in that chiller he puts his own milk, he does his own testing. Every time when he does the testing, the data gets into the cloud. So that's where he certifies his quality. When the milk is taken from his farm and arrives at processing facility, we retest that entire milk. If these two are matching, the payment is triggered. So therefore, the same day the payment gets triggered, okay, this is exactly how we do quality monitoring. So therefore, as an entrepreneur, we want farmer to certify their milk. Nobody should certify their milk. They should tell, this is my quality, this is my fat and SNF, this is free of antibiotics, this is milk is stable, 70% alcohol test, it passes. So therefore, if these criteria are met, you have to pay me this much. That's exactly how an entrepreneur commands. Farmer should command. That's exactly what Akshayakalpa does.
Lovely. And Shravan is asking you if you could please talk about the early days of Akshayakalpa and some of the pushbacks you got from farmers, organic structure, funding, and how did you address that? And how did you go about building the distribution layer specifically?
So initial stages were a little bit of a struggle. I told, as we came out of IT industry, we thought we can change the world. We kept on moving from village to village, trying to explain what we are doing. So nobody believed us. Okay, initial stages 2010, 11, 12, it was a very, very difficult situation. And we have raised, this is a crowd-funded initiative. We started with 1.4 crore funding from 27 people from Wipro. So we started getting hope. But 2011, okay, these people came forward and funded 1.8 crores more. Okay, with that one, okay, what we did was first pilot farm was, okay, required. We invested some money in putting the first pilot farm ourselves. We worked with a farmer and piloted that farm. Once that farmer started making money, I think the things changed. That's the first initial intervention, okay, in the farm side. Initially, we thought we'll change everybody. No, we'll change one person, other person will learn. Farmers would love to learn from other farmers. Definitely, they don't want to be told by somebody coming from suit boot and telling, okay, what happens in that kind of conversation is they want to say, come sir, sit sir, please sit down, do all those things. Once we leave, they say, this guy doesn't know farming. I know farming better. What is he talking? That's what is a generally farmer perception is. To change that, we need to make farmers successful. They will learn from farmers than from us. It is very, very important in any extension. When I say extension is outreach, working with farmers, this is one of the most critical aspects, any of those, okay, interventions. On the distribution network, okay, so your question is also very, very interesting. Akshayakalpa never had money unless till we raised our Series A from low capital in 2019. Okay, all the distribution, marketing, everything was done by word of mouth. So if at all any startups want to work in this space, it's very critical to buy, okay, or okay, enlist consumers to believe, okay, in what you're doing. It's very, very important. All the consumers who became our spokesperson, they have come and visited our farms, seen our farmers, okay, seen, okay, how the farms work, what are the quality standards. Then they go and speak in their, okay, circles. That's what has happened. That's exactly how we grew for close to 10 years of our journey. That's how we built our distribution. Earlier, we used to only work with agents. Now, 50% of our revenues come from direct to customer business, where we home deliver the milk, okay, to consumers. Akshayakalpa does around 16 crore rupees month-on-month revenues. Okay, out of that, 50% is coming from direct to customer business. Okay, around 40% is coming from e-commerce channels. Around 10% is coming from retail stores. This is exactly how that entire, okay, channel segregation is. But entire marketing was built by word of mouth, helped by our consumers.
Great. And I think one more question is, are the farmers trained by Akshayakalpa to maintain quality first before they start supplying?
Yes, this is a 2-year training. There's a 2-year gestation period. They still before we start procuring. So that's the where we change our entire management practices, quality standards, everything, so that, okay, the quality, okay, is maintained, okay, when they join actually into the grid.
Got it. And Romy from Ajmer is asking, how much capital did you have to invest to start earning profit, or what was the working capital burning rate?
My investor is on the call. No capital, okay. So Akshayakalpa is still not profitable. Okay, it's a long way to profitability. So we have raised equity from friends in the initial stages, and we have raised equity from institutions like Low Capital, institutions like Rain Matter, institutions like BII, okay, British International Investments. Okay, there is a government of UK balance sheet funded institution, and some of the friends in US, okay, who have invested 5 crores, okay, 10 crores, okay, that's the quantum. That's exactly we have raised. Our profitability is, we are targeting to profitable by around 2025, 26. That's what it is. And it requires a lot of money to really build a credible business, especially in the direct dairy sector, and especially in the premium sector where we are in. Growth is fairly limited by availability of milk. The milk is not available the way we think is available. It needs to be produced. It is a lot of hard work, especially in the back end, to even to produce 1 liter of milk.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Shashi, for walking us through all of these factors that go behind 1 liter of milk that we get every day. And I think Smita might have a couple more questions.
I'm pretty much done, but I'm going to ask my classic last question. So my first question and last question are common across all our partners, Shashi. So what keeps you going?
See, the problems at ground level, okay, which, okay, we all need to be really cognizant of, and the way we want to solve them. That's what keeps us, all of us, going. The problems at ground level are huge. Okay, it is just not about, okay, one farmer. It's just not about one issue. How do you make this farm sustainable is what the question we ask. Just even let us assume we get out of our intervention, farms should be still sustainable. We should teach them soil management. We should teach them biodiversity. We should teach them how to really link everything they do to market. That's very, very important to make a long-term sustainable journey for the farm. So that's what actually keeps us going, Smita, to your question.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Shashi. And yeah, to everyone here, thank you for joining us on a Friday evening. I hope it was an evening, well spent for you all. At least for me, I think every time I speak to you, Shashi, there's new lessons, new learnings, and completely rejuvenated to keep going. And of course, the 16 crore target, I'm not going to forget that. All of us here, please invest in the Akshayakalpa fund. Do spread the word. We have a brand new referral feature on Rangde as well, so it's easy for you to spread the word. We are not going to rest until we help you meet your target, Shashi, and thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Smita, Sukudha. Thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, lots of messages coming in. So Sridhar says, thank you. Wonderful efforts and initiative to bring transparency on investments, Rangde team and Akshayakalpa team. And yes, a lot of people have thanked you, Shashi, for answering their questions. So thank you once again for your wonderful explanation about all the factors that go behind all this. If you've joined this session a little late, the recording will be available on the YouTube channel of Rangde and Akshayakalpa shortly. So please don't forget to follow us on social media, spread the word. I have posted the link to the fund page again for all of you to check out and spread the word. So thank you once again. Thank you, Sridhar, Murli, Akhilesh. Thank you for all of you who sent us your questions. And we hope that you will join us again in our future Q&A sessions with Rangde Impact Partners. Here's wishing you a wonderful weekend ahead. Thank you from Team Rangde and Akshayakalpa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.